Good afternoon, everybody. It is a huge, huge honor for me and our staff to be able to host the kickoff of this year's initiative. Our vision at Dare to Care Food Bank is a hunger-free Kentuckiana. We work every day to build a community where everybody has enough to eat. And this year, we're making huge strides in that direction by distributing over 24 million pounds of fresh, healthy food to food insecure individuals throughout Kentuckiana. That's the equivalent of about 90 million meals. And we're doing that in an incredibly efficient way. In fact, for every dollar that's donated to Dare to Care, we're able to put 94 cents into food and into innovative programs. And we're able to do that for two reasons. First of all, we have an awesome staff here at the food bank. These incredibly motivated, high-energy people who get up every day, come to work, dedicated to achieving our vision and honoring the intention of our donors by ensuring that their dollars are spent wisely. Secondly, we accomplish that because we have an equally incredible group of volunteers who show up throughout the year to help us do our work. In fact, if you put a dollar value on the hours that are donated to Dare to Care by our volunteers, it comes out to about $500,000. That's $500,000 that we're not spending on overhead, but we're putting directly back into food and innovative programming. So when you hear the mayor talking about the importance of volunteering and the importance of this week that's coming up, understand he knows what he's talking about. Sure, it makes you feel good to volunteer, but it's delivering bottom line results. So thank you for your support, and let's have a great turnout this week. It's my honor now to introduce someone who has been an incredibly visionary leader in our community and has instilled compassion as a core value in our community. And frankly, he's made it cool to be nonprofit employees now. I want to introduce Greg Fischer, our mayor.
You know, when we think about when we started this and where we've come today, all of us together, I mean, this is really incredible. I want everybody to kind of look around and soak it all in and say, we've really done a good job together. We've come a long way. And each one of these kickoffs demonstrate this. And, of course, this is just kickoff for what's going to be a fantastic week for us. So we are here to kick off the 8th annual Mayor's Give a Day Week of Service. And folks, we have set the bar high for us. This past year, our community of volunteers and supporters helped us break our own world record from the previous year with 205,000 volunteers and acts of compassion. That's a lot. So this year, we'll break that record again. Mark my words and mark your calendars. April 13th to the 20th is the 2019 Give a Day Week of Service. So 8 years ago, we started a conversation in our community about compassion and what compassion would mean for our city. I'd just been elected mayor. I wanted to honor my mom with an event and decided to focus on compassion because that's what she taught me and my 4 siblings. And we wanted then to celebrate and cultivate compassion on a broader scale in our city. And boy, it's been so gratifying to see how the people of Louisville have really responded. They've demonstrated again and again and again building social muscle in our community, proving that we're a compassionate city and a welcoming city where people live and work and play, and everybody just tries to help each other reach their full human potential. That's how we define compassion in our city. So we started in 2011 with a one-day call to serve others, just 30 days after we started our administration. We had about 80 people turn out, 80. And then we said, let's go and let's make it bigger. So we turned it into a week of service. And boy, it's been growing ever since. Not only do you have to look around the room today to see that we're going to do even more good work, but I have high confidence level that we'll be breaking our world record once again. One of the reasons for that is we have a newly formed advisory board for their efforts to make Give a Day 2019 the best ever. So some of our board members are with us, and our board chair, Mary Pat Regan. So our board members, why don't you guys raise your hands so we can say thank you to you guys. Good job. Way to go, guys. And we want to make a board so like when I don't bother you as your mayor anymore, Give a Day will continue. Doesn't matter who the mayor is, we want to keep this going for years and years again. So thank you for the board for stepping up and helping us out. We got lots of examples of great Give a Day projects when we complete the press portion of this event. Please make sure that you go and visit with the folks right back behind here. There's the Red Cross. They've got a table. This year we're going to be hosting a new Give a Day event, and so that's going to be a community-wide blood drive on Wednesday, April 17th at the Kentucky International Convention Center. Giving blood is something that's easy to do, but you got to take about an hour and a half to do it. So I'll see you out there as we help the Red Cross on April the 17th. One of our signature events, and that's Build a Bed. Build a Bed is back for another great year. I want to thank Ben Langley. Is Ben here? Yeah, Ben, you and your team with volunteers are such great leaders for our community, and this takes so many pieces of the puzzle to come together. It's lumber. Our lumberman's in the back. Thank you. Appreciate the lumber. K&I. Thank you, brother. So, Ben, we got lumber, hardware, bedding, pillows, dental hygiene items, teddy bears, books. All this goes together with people coming together and building a bed for young folks in JCPS that may not have their own bed. And then when you deliver that bed and you see the eyes of that young child light up and say, somebody cares for me that I don't even know, that really is the epitome of what Give a Day is all about. Global game changers in the house right here with their superhero and superheroine capes on. Do a little superhero thing here for us. There you go. That's what I'm talking about right there. They're teaming up with the Kentucky Derby Festival to thank the many volunteers during the weeks leading up to the Derby. And then the Harbor House is here. They have formed a mayor's duck team for the 16th annual Kentucky Derby, benefiting individuals with disabilities. That's a lot of fun. And then you're going to hear about a few more here later in the program. So this is all part of the reason that compassion is now part of our global brand. We've had 45 cities visit us from around the world to find out what we're doing with compassion and what all this talk is. And as you guys know, if you talk to people in Louisville about compassion, they don't look at you like you're weird or strange. They're like, let me tell you what I'm doing about compassion. And we've also found that compassion is great for business. Our local businesses have now become a big driver of the success of Give a Day. And I see representatives from some of our great sponsors here with us. There's GE Appliances, who's participating with the Volunteers of America, Habitat for Humanity, and a bunch of events. And when the GE folks show up, they show up big and they show up in numbers. Texas Roadhouse is sponsoring our Summer Blessings, along with the Louisville Parks Foundation and Brown Foreman and many, many more. So if you're here today representing a business that's contributing to Give a Day, please raise your hand so we can give you a round of applause. Our business partners and sponsors, thank you guys so much. There's so many pieces of the puzzle that go into making Give a Day possible. Obviously, when you see the way it's growing here to a couple 100,000 plus. And so that's obviously only possible because of the incredible community partnerships that we have with our great nonprofits, along with businesses stepping up, sending a message that it's time for everybody to participate in what I think now is one of the world's largest festivals of compassion and community service. And when you think about a cool place to be, if you can be at the world's largest festival of compassion, I mean, where else would you want to go? I mean, this is a spot to be. So, as I mentioned at Metro Government, we're also organizing Give a Day projects of our own, including the Bright Side and Passport Health Plan community-wide cleanup on Saturday, April 13th. That's the morning of Thunder over Louisville, as well as the morning after Thunder. Gina O'Brien and her team at Bright Side, last year we were at 19? 20,000. Well, 19,000, but who's counting? Okay, come on. We're going to be over 20,000 this year, right? Okay, and this is, everybody can help make our city a cleaner place. So we really appreciate the work that Brightside does. Speaking about a great partner, Metro United Way. Think about all of the wonderful things that the United Way does for our community year in and year out. We could not be scaling Give a Day the way we are without the incredible partnership that we have with Metro United Way. They've been cultivating compassion, as we know, for more than just the Give a Day week of service. 100 years anniversary last year. They have been the center for compassion in our community for quite some time. They're also the central coordination point between volunteers and the thousands of volunteer opportunities during Give a Day week. So we really appreciate the work of Metro United Way, and now we're going to hear from their president and CEO. Please welcome Teresa Reno Weber.
Love it. I feel like I'm coming up for a big professional fight or something. Thank you, Mayor. And thank you all for gathering here today. This truly is one of the most exciting moments and weeks for our team at Metro United Way, when our entire community comes together and really puts our compassion into action. And we know at United Way that this happens all year round, because not only are we engaging with donors and companies and nonprofits to make sure that they have the resources, financial and otherwise, to be able to deliver the life-changing supports that they do across our community, but we've also been working to gather volunteers throughout the year to make sure that those same nonprofits, those same programs and initiatives have the support that they need to fuel all of the life-changing work that happens. And so it's amazing to see a whole community be rallied in 1 week, and what's really possible when we all come together in the way that we are here today. For Metro United Way, we are focused on making sure that every single person can live to their full potential through education, through financial independence, and through healthy lives. And so when we're investing, we're making sure that the resources are there to put books in hands, to put blankets on those beds that Ben and his team are putting into those homes. But we're also making sure that we're rallying individuals to go and make systemic changes to the really deep-rooted systems that create these outcomes that we're all here to try to address the symptoms of. And that requires advocacy, that requires folks showing up, lending their voices to the things that they want to change, that create the need for so much of this volunteerism and activism. And Metro United Way is proud to do that work day in and day out, but we're also proud to energize and rally and stand behind the mayor and every single one of you here today to make sure that we can continue to break records and show the world really what it looks like to put that compassion into action. Last year, the mayor mentioned, we did over 200,000 volunteer acts of compassion. And this year, we're prepared to do so much more. We have a booth here where folks can go and see the hundreds of projects that are available right now for both small, one-person projects all the way to big, large-scale, 100-person plus projects for our nonprofits. You can also go to mygiveaday.com and sign up to participate in one of those projects that's been posted by our nonprofits. We know that the partnerships and the sponsorships that the mayor referenced are so critical to making sure that we have the resources when volunteers show up. And I just want to add my thanks to the title sponsor, GE Appliances, because we know that this isn't the only place that they show up. They are always, constantly volunteering, investing, making sure that this community is a place that their employees, their families, their neighbors, their coworkers want to live, want to work, want to play, want to raise their children, as well as the contributing sponsor, Brown-Forman. Again, another amazing corporate sponsor that's supporting the Give a Day efforts, but also supports nonprofits across our community all year long. Finally, I'd like to make sure that we thank the Mayor's Give a Day board. These members are truly change leaders. They have taken on the challenge that the mayor has put before them to make sure that this lasts for years to come, and that our community continues to be a beacon that shows the world what it looks like when we put our compassion in action. So thank you to those board members who have given selflessly of themselves, and thank you to every single person here who has been volunteering, and to all of those of you at home who is gonna make this your year to get out there and volunteer. We can't wait to see you in this community, making it be what we all want it to become. Thank you.
Thank you, Teresa. You can see United Way is making this happen. I also want to recognize Janice Cates back here. Janice is with Metro. She runs our compassion activities. It's a lot to organize. Thank you, Janice. We're also, I guess it was about, Wendy, maybe 4 or 5 years ago when we brought We Day into Give a Day. Number 7. Okay, time flies. So We Day has become an incredible partner of Give a Day, and it's a celebration for our young people who've committed themselves to community service, not just during Give a Day week, but throughout the entire year. And it includes an afternoon compassion walk on April 17th. So our We Day youth leaders started off with that, but now we invite the entire community to come together and talk about walk about the importance of compassion, interdependence. We're all in this together and appreciate each other. So the afternoon of April 17th, everybody is invited to come out and walk with us. 16th. Okay, sorry about that. So is it in what day of the week is it? Tuesday. Okay. Tuesday, April 16th is when that will take place. So see Wendy Sergio or one of our We Day students for more information. So We Day and Wendy, if you all would raise your hands so people, that's Wendy. Forrest. Okay, so you guys are representing We Day. Great job on that. More We Days over here. Good job, guys. Way to go. Now, when kids go to school, I mean, they certainly enrich their brains. But also, how do they enrich their hearts? And I'm really proud that JCPS focuses on that whole child day in and day out. And We Day would not be the success that it is in terms of the numbers that we have were it not for the full throttled support of Jefferson County Public Schools and its leadership team there, led by Dr. Marty Polio. So, Dr. Polio, what's JCPS having in line for us this year? Okay.
Thank you, Mayor. I was excited to walk in and see the Barrett Hilltoppers join us today. So, welcome, Barrett. So, you defended your backpack successfully today, isn't that correct? And so, congratulations for that. Great job. Thank you very much. So this is one of our key initiatives. Every 5th grader, 8th grader, and 12th grader in JCPS are defending their backpack of success skills. And so she was successful today, and I can say last week was right around the corner at Rangeland Elementary and saw kids defending their readiness for middle school, and a young man who had moved from El Salvador last summer and did not speak a word of English and was determined that he was going to defend his backpack in English to show his resiliency, persistent and resilient learner. So we're very proud of that work. If you have not had the chance to be on a backpack defense panel, I'm sure that we can get plenty of information to you to do that. It is so meaningful to see the work that our children are doing. And where that comes in to the Give a Day week is one of our success skills is being a globally and culturally competent citizen. And so when I was at Rangeland or Westport, we heard about all the volunteer hours that our students are doing. And so in past years when we've done Give a Day at all across JCPS, it really hasn't fit into what we were doing. And now our kids can volunteer, they can give time and for the betterment of our community, and they can also put evidence of that in their backpack to show that they're a globally and culturally competent citizen. And just the numbers for JCPS, it's so important to know that last year our students donated an equivalent of 966 full days of service. We had over 58,000 students involved in making a difference in our community. And just a few examples of those. Male high school students held a fundraiser to help fight pediatric cancer. Students from Cameron Middle School collected toys and books to donate to the Center for Women and Families. Johnsontown Road Elementary students collected supplies for the Ronald McDonald House and Dream the Wings. Chancey Elementary collected personal care items for the children at Home of the Innocents. And many of our schools collected food to be donated right here for Dare to Care. And so as superintendent, I'm proud that our students are doing this type of work every day and what they accomplish in the classroom, but also how they represent our school system in the community. And I am confident that this year we will have 156 schools represented, and students will be contributing evidence to their backpack of success skills, showing that they are globally and culturally competent citizens by making our community a better place. So we are proud to be a partner in this work at JCPS, and we will exceed 58,000 students, and every single school will be a part of this work. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Dr. Polio. Now, if you want to see firsthand the good work being done by JCPS students, be sure to talk to Andrew Dunn Andrew, where are you? Back here. Andrew's at Manual High School. And Lucy Wiseman from Great House Elementary right here. Very good. Both are participating in Give a Day with their own nonprofits. Quite impressive. And have a table back here behind the crowd here. So thank you guys for being great leaders, okay? So we also, when we started thinking about when we were going to schedule Give a Day, we said let's put it at the beginning of the Kentucky Derby Festival week, because what we're really trying to do here is spark a bonfire of compassion throughout the world. And one of the first persons that I spoke with about this was Mike Berry. And Mike, of course, has run the Kentucky Derby Festival for 22 years. Young man, and he rises to the occasion no matter what the crisis is. He can handle it without even breaking a sweat. But he really embraced this whole concept of volunteerism and compassion as part of the Give a Day week, and it's been a huge, huge part of Give a Day being successful. So please welcome Mike Berry.
Thank you, Mayor. The Give a Day initiative has always been a great fit for the Kentucky Derby Festival schedule, and that's going to kick off, believe it or not, Thunder over Louisville in just 17 days. It's hard to believe it's that close. Now, we're honored to be included among some of the most compassionate corporations and service organizations in this community, and many of those organizations are also partners of the festival, so we salute you as well. Now, with more than 70 events to produce on the festival schedule, we couldn't do it without volunteers, and our volunteers number about 4,000 just to produce those festival events. They help us do everything. They serve on our planning committees all year long. They house bands at the Republic Bank Pegasus Parade. They hand out water to thousands of runners along the route for the Humana Marathon and Mini Marathon. They sell buckets of golf balls at the Stockyards Bank $1 Million Hole-in-One. And many of the groups, including local schools, volunteer to help us sell Pegasus pins. And in doing that, they benefit from those pin sales by having the dollars go back to support the causes that they support. So we're very fortunate to have such a large network of volunteers that help produce the festival. And in fact, in 2019, we're pledging to give an estimated 8,341 hours of community service during the Give a Day initiative from Kentucky Derby Festival volunteers. So we're excited about that. And I was standing back here among the kidney beans and the carrots, and I heard somebody mention that there's going to be lots of cleanup the week after Thunder over Louisville, and we like that too. You know, I recently announced that I was going to go on to other pastures, and in my retirement, I look forward to being a volunteer for the Give a Day program and for the Kentucky Derby Festival. And speaking of volunteers and rewards, we're hopefully going to help reward a few lucky volunteers this year. We're going to be giving away 2 tickets for the Thunder VIP experience. Now, the lucky winners must register by going to mygiveaday.com to volunteer. You have to volunteer for Give a Day by April 4th to be eligible to win. And then we'll have a drawing, and those folks will have a wonderful Thunder experience, but afterwards you have to go back to work volunteering. I wanted to close. I saw a quote the other day that President Obama had made that said, if you go out and make good things happen, you'll fill the world with hope, and you'll fill yourself with hope as well. Thank you for allowing us to be a part of this initiative.
Well, when we started Give a Day, our goal was twofold: to spotlight the great acts of compassion happening here every day in our city, and then to encourage the spread of compassion as well. And somebody that really lives those goals daily, not just here in our city, but around the country as well, is Dr. Muhammad Babar. Dr. Babar is a tireless advocate for our interfaith community, and just a wonderful supporter. If you need help, he and his team are always there with us. So please welcome Dr. Muhammad Babar.
I guess Mayor really want us to put us to work by extending Give a Day week not only to rest of year, but probably to rest of our lives. Okay, yeah. So quite frankly, compassion itself puts us in difficult situation by being mindful of the sufferings of our fellow beings, and by taking their emotions and feelings as our own. We pride in Louisville as being a city of compassion, but I will not be honest to you if I admit that events of last few months have shown us that this is a work in progress, and we have a long way to go. A long way to become a true city of compassion in which no citizen loses his life to hatred in a grocery store in front of his grandson, as our own Maurice Stoller did. A city in which no house of worship is vandalized, as our Swaminarayan Hindu temple was vandalized a couple of months ago. And a city in which there is no room for signs of hatred from past, as we saw swastikas spray painted in Old Louisville a couple of days ago. And a city in which the citizens are willing to part away with their hard-earned living to share with their neighbors, and the leaders are willing to make bold decisions. So let's challenge ourselves that we will follow the golden rule of treating each other the way we want to be treated, and that we will rise above man-made barriers of race, religion, hatred, gender, and sexuality, and will treat each other as members of one species, Homo sapiens. It seems like an idealistic goal, but I know from the depth of my heart and from the core of my creation that if there is one city in the world which can do it, that is our city, Louisville. And time again in our city, we have shown to the world that what our true potential is. On Thanksgiving Eve in 1969, hunger struck a 9-year-old boy, Bobby Ellis, in our city. And a Louisvillian, Father Jones, he ignited a movement of compassion that resulted in what we are standing here, Dare to Care. And we decided that not only hunger will never struck our city, but also not the surrounding areas. And we will make sure that everybody is taken care of.
Compassion is a work in progress, right? It's not like we say, okay, we've achieved this and we're done. We'll always be challenged, but we always have got to keep moving forward as well, and I'm proud of our city for doing that. One more thing I want to say, Give a Day is always a happy occasion when we bring everybody together to celebrate our common humanity, but we're going to have a little challenge. I want to talk about that because part of being mayor is I got to tell the truth as well all the time. This year, we're going to be working through a significant budget challenge, a $65 million budget challenge. We've had to deal with this challenge that was brought on to us by this big pension obligation from Frankfurt, and we have to work on that by looking at all of our services and unfortunately cutting way too many of our services because the majority of the Metro Council voted to address that gap, not with new revenue, but with cutting services. So I regret that, but it happened. So we got to deal with that and move on. My team and I are talking now with all of our community partners, including a lot of the organizations here, many of whom that we've supported in the past, to figure out exactly what's possible and how we move forward together. We will need the help of our private sector, the non-public sector in our community more than ever. And we've always risen to the occasion. So we're being tested right now. I think our finest hour is in front of us, so oftentimes out of great challenges come great success. So we've been presented with an opportunity to develop great success coming out of this. Dr. Bobber mentioned one example, and that's Dare to Care. This organization exists because of a significant challenge that awoke the conscience of our community about 50 years ago, where we saw hunger in this country that we call the richest country on the face of the earth. We can't call ourselves that when we have hunger in our cities, when we have homelessness in our city, when we have a city and state and country where not everybody has health care. We got enough money to take care of all these issues, but we're not taking care of our common humanity right now. So please advocate, and please make sure that we're all in this together. And when you think about Dare to Care as an example of that, of turning frustration, of turning pain, of turning anger into action, they've done it. And they've built what I think is the greatest food bank operation in America. So that's what's possible when we're challenged.